From Unknown to Unmatched. Master Personal Branding and Lead Your Market. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. Introduction. What separates the entrepreneurs who rise to the top from those who stay stuck in the shadows? It's not always the most innovative product, the biggest budget, or even the hardest work. In today's competitive world, the answer lies in personal branding. Let me ask you this. How would your life change if your name became synonymous with success in your industry? Imagine being the first person people think of when they need an expert in your field. No more struggling to get noticed, no more blending in with the competition, just a steady flow of opportunities, clients, and recognition. The truth is, the difference between the unknown entrepreneur and the unmatched leader often comes down to one thing: the ability to craft, communicate, and embody a personal brand that commands attention. And that's exactly what this book is here to help you do. Why personal branding is essential now. In a world flooded with content, businesses, and personal brands, it's easy to feel invisible. You're putting in the hours, creating great work, yet somehow the recognition, clients, and influence aren't flowing in like you imagined. Why? Because visibility isn't automatic. Just being good at what you do isn't enough anymore. You need people to see you, trust you, and recognize your value before they even decide to work with you. This is where personal branding becomes your secret weapon. It's the key to going from just another entrepreneur to the entrepreneur in your market. The one people seek out, the one who gets the speaking engagements, media features, and lucrative deals. Personal branding allows you to define how the world sees you. It enables you to control your narrative, to communicate your expertise in a way that resonates deeply with your audience, and to become the go-to authority in your industry. A proven path to leadership. Here's what this book will do for you. It will teach you how to master your personal brand, positioning you to lead your market with confidence and authenticity. Whether you're just starting out or have been in business for years, you'll discover the exact strategies needed to go from unknown to unmatched. What you're holding in your hands isn't a collection of generic branding tips. It's a step-by-step roadmap that blends practical advice with real-world examples of entrepreneurs who have transformed their brands and their businesses by using the exact strategies you'll learn here. But this book is also about something deeper. It's about embracing the fact that your story, your experiences, and your perspective have value. It's about understanding that you already have everything you need to lead your market. You just need the right strategy to make it happen. We've observed that 66% of our viewers haven't yet subscribed to our channel. We invite you to support us by clicking the subscribe button and liking this video. Your encouragement inspires us to continue creating valuable content for you. Thank you for being a part of our community and fueling our passion for sharing insights and knowledge. Chapter 1. Why personal branding is essential for entrepreneurs. In a world where competition is fierce and visibility is key, personal branding is no longer optional, it's essential. Take a moment to think about the last time you needed a service or a product. Chances are, you didn't just search for a faceless business or corporation. You were likely drawn to a person, a voice, a face, an expert who stood out. Whether it was a social media post, a podcast, or an article, something about that person made you stop and listen. You trusted them, and that trust led you to make a decision. That's the power of personal branding. In today's crowded market, everyone is vying for attention. Products and services may be similar, but the one thing that is entirely unique is you. Your experiences, insights, and personality can't be replicated. Personal branding is the key to making sure you're not just another option in a sea of competitors, but the only choice that matters. But personal branding goes beyond just being visible. It's about owning your story and becoming the kind of person people seek out, someone they trust, look to for advice, and want to follow. In short, personal branding transforms you from just another entrepreneur into an industry leader. Why is this so important now? Let's face it. If you're not building your personal brand, someone else is. The world has become increasingly digital, and the entrepreneurs who succeed are the ones who can cut through the noise and speak directly to their audience. Consumers today don't just buy products, they buy into people. They want to feel connected to the person behind the brand. If you're an entrepreneur, your personal brand is one of your most valuable assets. It's how you can differentiate yourself and, more importantly, build trust. And trust is the foundation of all successful businesses. Consider the brands and entrepreneurs you admire. They aren't just offering a product or service, they're offering themselves. Think of Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey. Their personal brands aren't accidental, they're meticulously crafted to convey specific values, traits, and expertise. And you don't have to be a billionaire or celebrity to do the same. Every entrepreneur, regardless of industry or scale, can use personal branding to position themselves as an authority. Now, let's take a moment for reflection. Grab a notebook or open a document and answer this question. What do people think of when they hear your name? Do they associate you with expertise, innovation, trust, or something else? Be honest with yourself. This is your starting point. Many entrepreneurs never ask themselves this. But personal branding starts with self-awareness. Before you can build a strong personal brand, you need to know what others see and what you want them to see. The power of personal branding in action. Let me tell you about Michelle, a solopreneur who started a small design business from her home. Like many entrepreneurs, Michelle had a great product but struggled to get noticed. She felt like she was screaming into the void, nobody was paying attention to her. That all changed when Michelle embraced personal branding. She stopped focusing solely on promoting her services and started sharing her personal story. She talked about her design process, her struggles as an entrepreneur, and what inspired her creativity. She posted videos, shared behind-the-scenes looks at her work, and connected with her audience on a personal level. Within 6 months, Michelle went from being just another designer to a trusted authority in her niche. She became the go-to person for clients looking for a more personalized, human touch. Her brand wasn't just about design anymore, it was about Michelle, the person. And that's what set her apart. The transformative power of branding. Here's the thing: personal branding isn't just about attracting clients or customers, it's about empowerment. When you embrace your brand, you're not just positioning yourself as an expert in your field, you're giving yourself permission to be seen, to be heard, and to step fully into your role as a leader. For some, this shift can feel intimidating. It requires stepping out of the shadows and embracing your identity. But here's the truth: if you don't tell your story, someone else will. And no one can tell your story better than you. Key takeaways. 1. Personal branding is essential because it allows you to stand out in a crowded market and build trust with your audience. 2. Your brand is your most valuable asset. It's what makes you unique and helps you rise above your competitors. 3. Reflect on how people currently perceive your brand and how you want them to see you in the future. 4. Transformation. Embracing personal branding is an empowering step toward positioning yourself as an industry leader. As you move to the next chapter, keep that reflection close. The journey to building your personal brand starts now, and it begins with knowing who you are and what you want to convey to the world. In the upcoming chapters, we'll dive into the practical steps that will transform your brand and set you on a path to industry leadership. Chapter 2. Defining your unique value proposition (UVP). What sets you apart from the competition? In an increasingly crowded marketplace, this is the question every entrepreneur needs to answer. Your unique value proposition (UVP) is at the heart of your personal brand. It's the promise you make to your audience, the reason they choose you over someone else. But defining your UVP isn't just about figuring out what you're good at. It's about digging deep to uncover what makes you different. Your experiences, your skills, and even your personality come together to create a brand that is one of a kind. In this chapter, we'll break down how to identify and communicate that uniqueness in a way that resonates with your audience. Why your UVP is the foundation of your brand. Imagine two entrepreneurs offering the same service, let's say graphic design. Both have similar qualifications, similar portfolios, and charge similar rates. On paper, they're identical. So how does one of them manage to attract high-paying clients while the other struggles to stand out? The difference is personal branding. The successful entrepreneur has a clear UVP. They don't just sell graphic design services, they sell their approach, their expertise, and their story. They've positioned themselves as the go-to expert in their niche, not by being better than their competition, but by being different. Your UVP is what makes your brand memorable and desirable. Without it, you're just another option in a crowded marketplace. With it, you become the obvious choice. Step 1. Identifying your core strengths. Before we get to the specifics of your UVP, let's start with a simple question. What are you really good at? This is more than just identifying your skills, it's about recognizing the strengths that truly set you apart. Core Strengths Inventory. Take a few moments to write down your top 5 strengths, skills, talents, or qualities that you excel at. Your key experiences, unique professional or personal experiences that have shaped your approach or expertise. What others consistently say you're good at, feedback from clients, colleagues, or mentors. This inventory will form the foundation of your UVP. Remember, your personal brand is an extension of you. The clearer you are about your strengths, the more compelling your brand will be. Step 2. Understand your audience's needs. Your UVP isn't just about you, it's about the intersection between your strengths and what your audience needs. To build a strong personal brand, you must understand the problems your audience is facing and how you can solve them. Ask yourself these questions. What are the biggest challenges my target audience faces? What pain points can I solve with my unique strengths? How can my approach deliver value in a way that no one else does? If you're unsure about the answers, now is the time to ask your audience directly. This can be through surveys, interviews, or simply paying attention to the conversations happening in your industry. Step 3. Crafting your unique value proposition. Once you've identified your core strengths and aligned them with your audience's needs, it's time to craft your UVP. Your UVP should be a clear, concise statement that communicates what you do, who you serve, and how you do it differently. Example UVP template. I help target audience achieve desired outcome by your unique approach or method. Let's break that down. Target audience. Who are you helping? Be as specific as possible. Desired outcome. What do you help them achieve? Focus on the result. How do you do this in a way that no one else can? Crafting a UVP. Let's say you're a leadership coach. A generic UVP might be, I help leaders improve their skills. But this is vague and doesn't set you apart from other leadership coaches. Now, using the template. Target audience. Mid-career executives in the tech industry. Becoming effective and empathetic leaders. Unique approach. Combining mindfulness techniques with traditional leadership strategies. Final UVP. I help mid-career tech executives become empathetic and effective leaders by integrating mindfulness practices with traditional leadership techniques. This UVP clearly communicates who you are, who you help, and how you're different from the competition. Step 4. Embracing your uniqueness. Here's where we shift gears slightly into a more transformative space. Once you've crafted your UVP, the real challenge begins: owning it. Many entrepreneurs hesitate when it comes to putting themselves out there. They worry that they're not unique enough, or that they'll come across as bragging if they talk about their strengths. This is a mindset hurdle we need to overcome. Embracing your uniqueness isn't about being boastful, it's about being confident in the value you provide. If you don't communicate your strengths, how will your audience know what makes you special? What is one thing about your background or experience that you feel hesitant to share, but that could actually differentiate you from others? Use this as an opportunity to reflect on how you might be holding yourself back. Embracing your story, your quirks, and your unique perspective is what will truly set you apart. Key takeaways. 1. Your UVP is the foundation of your personal brand. It's what sets you apart from the competition. 2. Start by identifying your core strengths, the unique skills, experiences, and qualities that define you. 3. Understand your audience's needs and how your strengths can solve their problems. 4. Craft a clear and concise UVP that communicates who you serve, what you do, and how you do it differently. 5. Embrace your uniqueness and step into your role as an expert with confidence. Now that you've identified your UVP, you have the foundation of your personal brand. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to translate this into a brand identity that visually and emotionally connects with your audience. Get ready to take your UVP and bring it to life. Chapter 3. Crafting your personal brand identity. Now that you've defined your unique value proposition UVP, it's time to take the next step, creating a personal brand identity that visually and emotionally aligns with who you are and what you offer. Your personal brand identity is more than just a logo or a website. It's how you present yourself to the world in a way that consistently communicates your UVP. Every element of your brand, from your website design to your social media profiles, should reinforce the message you crafted in the last chapter. Done well, a cohesive brand identity will not only attract your ideal audience, but also build trust and recognition over time. The 2 pillars of personal brand identity. Your personal brand identity has 2 critical components. 1. Visual branding. the tangible, outward-facing elements of your brand, like your logo, color scheme, website, and social media presence. 2. Emotional branding. The feelings, values, and story that your brand evokes in your audience. Emotional branding is how people connect with you on a deeper level. Both pillars are essential. While visual branding helps you get noticed, emotional branding is what creates loyalty and lasting relationships with your audience. Step 1. Building a visual brand that reflects your UVP. Let's start with the visual side. Your brand's visual identity is the first thing people will see when they encounter your brand online or offline. It needs to be professional, cohesive, and aligned with the message you want to communicate. Take a few moments to think about the following elements of your visual brand. Logo. Does it reflect your UVP? Is it memorable, clean, and professional? Colors. What colors align with the emotions and values you want to evoke? For example, blue conveys trust and calm, while red can suggest passion or urgency. Fonts. Are the fonts you use readable, modern, and appropriate for your audience? Imagery. What types of images or visuals represent your brand? Think about the style of photos you use: professional headshots, lifestyle images, etc. If your UVP is about providing clear, no-nonsense advice to overwhelmed entrepreneurs, you might opt for a minimalist logo with clean lines, neutral or calming colors, and a straightforward font. On the other hand, if your brand is about creative expression, you might choose bold colors and more artistic design elements. Remember, your visual brand should feel like an extension of your personality and the message you want to convey. If you're working with a designer, make sure they understand your UVP and the audience you're targeting. Step 2. Establishing emotional branding. While the visual elements of your brand get people's attention, it's the emotional connection that keeps them coming back. Emotional branding is about creating a deeper connection with your audience by telling your story, sharing your values, and showing vulnerability. Defining your brand's core emotions. Think about the emotional response you want your audience to have when they interact with your brand. Ask yourself, how do I want people to feel when they encounter my brand? Empowered? Inspired? Reassured? Excited? What values do I want to communicate through my brand? Authenticity? Innovation? Community? Integrity? Let's say you're a leadership coach, and your UVP is about helping tech executives become empathetic and effective leaders, building on the UVP example from the last chapter. The emotions you might want to evoke are trust, confidence, and empathy. To do this, you could use storytelling to share your own leadership challenges and how you overcame them, or use testimonials that highlight the positive, personal impact you've had on clients. Step 3. Consistency is key. One of the most important aspects of personal branding is consistency. Your brand's visual and emotional elements must align across all platforms, whether it's your website, social media, or offline presence, so that people know what to expect from you every time they encounter your brand. Are you being consistent? Take a moment to review your current online presence, your website, social media, business cards, etc. Is there consistency in your visual branding, colors, fonts, logos? Are your values and emotions being communicated effectively? If you find gaps, it's time to refine and align those elements to present a cohesive personal brand identity, overcoming the fear of showing up authentically. Now, let's address something that many entrepreneurs struggle with: the fear of putting themselves out there authentically. It's one thing to craft a beautiful brand identity on paper, but it's another to consistently show up as that brand in public spaces. Many entrepreneurs feel vulnerable when they create personal brands because it requires them to be seen, to tell their story, and to engage with their audience on a more personal level. This can feel intimidating. What if people judge you? What if you're not as good as you think you are? Here's the truth. Authenticity is your superpower. The more authentic and transparent you are, the more people will connect with you. Trying to appeal to everyone by watering down your brand won't help you stand out. It will make you forgettable. Instead, lean into who you are and what makes you unique. Ask yourself, what's holding me back from showing up fully as my brand? Write down any fears or doubts you have about putting yourself out there. Then, reflect on how those fears might be limiting your potential. By acknowledging these fears, you can start to work through them and show up more authentically. Key takeaways. 1. Your personal brand identity consists of both visual branding logos, colors, fonts, and emotional branding the values and emotions you communicate. 2. Consistency is key. Your visual and emotional branding must align across all platforms to create a cohesive and recognizable brand. 3. Review your current branding elements for consistency and alignment with your UVP. 4. Transformation. Overcome the fear of showing up authentically by embracing your uniqueness and leaning into what sets you apart. Now that you've started to build a cohesive personal brand identity, it's time to expand your reach. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to use storytelling as a powerful tool to engage your audience and build deeper connections. Get ready to craft stories that captivate and inspire. Chapter 4. The Power of Storytelling in Personal Branding. People don't just connect with facts, figures, or logos, they connect with stories. Your personal story has the power to make your brand relatable, memorable, and human. When you share your experiences, challenges, and triumphs, you invite your audience to see themselves in your journey. That's when the magic happens. Storytelling isn't just for authors or motivational speakers. As an entrepreneur, it's one of your most powerful tools for building a personal brand that resonates. In this chapter, we'll explore why storytelling matters, and we'll guide you through the process of crafting your own story in a way that aligns with your brand. Why storytelling matters. Let's start with why storytelling is so effective in personal branding. At its core, a story is about connection. It allows people to relate to you on a human level, beyond your services or expertise. Think about the brands you follow or the influencers you admire. Chances are, it's not just their product or skills that keep you engaged. It's the personal stories they share that make you feel like you know them. Stories are powerful because they evoke emotion, and emotion is what drives action. When your audience feels connected to you on an emotional level, they are more likely to trust you, engage with your content, and choose you over someone else. Step 1. Crafting your brand story. Every great brand has a story, and every entrepreneur has a journey. Your brand story should communicate who you are, what you've overcome, and how that journey led you to where you are today. This story will become the backbone of your personal brand, helping your audience connect with you on a deeper level. A simple but effective way to craft your brand story is to use the classic 3-act structure, which is commonly used in storytelling. 1. Act 1. The beginning. Where did you start? What problem or challenge did you face early in your career or personal journey? Example. I was a young entrepreneur fresh out of college, struggling to find clients and unsure how to market myself. 2. Act 2. The struggle. What obstacles did you encounter along the way? How did you face them, and what lessons did you learn? Example. I spent months networking, trying to build my portfolio, but nothing seemed to stick. I realized that without a strong personal brand, I was just blending in with the crowd. 3. Act 3. The transformation. How did you overcome those challenges and where are you now? What impact did the journey have on your personal and professional life? Example. After learning about the power of personal branding, I started building a brand that reflected who I truly was. Within a year, my business had taken off, and I had become a recognized authority in my industry. Take a few minutes to reflect on your journey as an entrepreneur. What struggles did you face? How did you overcome them? How has your journey shaped your values, your approach, and your brand? Write down your personal story using the 3-act structure. This will be the foundation of your brand narrative. Step 2. Using storytelling to build connection. Now that you've crafted your brand story, let's explore how you can use storytelling in your day-to-day interactions with your audience. Whether it's through social media posts, blog articles, or speaking engagements, your story should serve as a bridge between you and your audience. Think about key moments in your life or career that shaped who you are today. These don't have to be monumental events. Sometimes, the smallest moments carry the most meaning. Consider times when you faced a difficult decision, experienced a personal or professional breakthrough. These moments are the raw material for your brand storytelling. Sharing these stories helps your audience understand not just what you do, but why you do it. Let's say you're a fitness coach who helps clients build sustainable health habits. Instead of just talking about the benefits of your programs, you could share a story about how you struggled with your own health habits in the past, and what changes you made that finally worked. By sharing that story, you build credibility and show empathy for your audience's struggles, making you more relatable and trustworthy. Step 3. Finding the right balance of vulnerability. One of the most powerful aspects of storytelling is the ability to be vulnerable. However, it's important to strike the right balance. Too much vulnerability can make your audience uncomfortable, while too little can make you seem distant or unrelatable. The key is to share stories that are authentic but still framed in a way that provides value to your audience. When you share your struggles, be sure to also share the lessons you learned and how you grew from the experience. This turns your story from just an anecdote into a source of inspiration for your audience. Embracing vulnerability. Ask yourself, what parts of my journey am I afraid to share, but could help others if I did? These might be moments of failure, self-doubt, or setbacks. Remember, your audience is more likely to connect with you if they see that you're human too. Step 4. Sharing your story across platforms. Once you've crafted your brand story, it's time to share it. Your story should be woven into every aspect of your brand, from your website's about page to your social media posts, and even your email newsletters. Write down 3 places where you can start integrating your brand story. 1. Your website. Add your brand story to your about page in a way that highlights your journey and how it relates to the value you offer your audience. 2. Social media. Start sharing snippets of your brand story in your posts or videos, focusing on key moments that resonate with your audience. 3. Public speaking. If you do any public speaking, incorporate your story into your talks to create a personal connection with your audience. By consistently sharing your story across platforms, you build a cohesive brand that resonates with people no matter where they encounter you. Key takeaways. 1. Storytelling is essential in personal branding because it creates an emotional connection with your audience. 2. Craft your brand story using the 3-act structure, where you started, the struggles you faced, and how you transformed. 3. Balance vulnerability by sharing stories that are authentic and offer valuable lessons for your audience. 4. Integrate your brand story into your website, social media, and other platforms where your audience engages with you. Now that you've crafted and shared your story, it's time to expand your reach. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to position yourself as a thought leader in your industry and build credibility through content creation and public engagement. Chapter 5. Becoming a thought leader in your industry. Establishing yourself as a thought leader is one of the most powerful ways to build your personal brand and expand your influence. Thought leaders are trusted authorities who not only have expertise in their field but also offer unique perspectives and insights that others look to for guidance. As an entrepreneur, positioning yourself as a thought leader can help you attract high-value clients, gain media exposure, and build a loyal audience. But how do you get there? In this chapter, we'll explore the steps you can take to elevate your brand and become a recognized authority in your industry. What is a thought leader? Before we dive into the how, let's clarify what it means to be a thought leader. A thought leader is someone who shares valuable insights on industry trends, challenges, and innovations, offers a unique perspective that challenges conventional thinking or introduces new ideas, engages with their audience through content, public speaking, and social media, building a reputation as an expert, inspires others to take action or think differently about their work or life. Thought leadership isn't about self-promotion, it's about serving your audience with knowledge and insights that help them succeed. When you position yourself as a thought leader, you're not just a business owner or entrepreneur, you become someone people look to for advice, guidance, and inspiration. Step 1. Create content that demonstrates your expertise. One of the most effective ways to position yourself as a thought leader is by creating valuable content that showcases your expertise. Whether it's blog posts, articles, videos, or podcasts, content allows you to share your knowledge with a wider audience and build credibility. To get started, think about the types of content that best suit your personal brand and audience. Here are a few ideas. Blog posts or articles. Write about industry trends, common challenges your audience faces, or share case studies that demonstrate your expertise. Videos or webinars. Create video content where you explain key concepts, offer tutorials, or share behind-the-scenes insights into your work. Podcasts. If you enjoy speaking, consider starting a podcast where you interview other experts or share your insights on current topics in your industry. Let's say you're a marketing consultant who specializes in helping small businesses grow their online presence. You could create a series of blog posts or videos on topics like the top 5 social media mistakes small businesses make, or how to build an effective marketing strategy on a tight budget. By sharing actionable tips and insights, you'll start to establish yourself as an expert in your niche. Step 2. Share your perspective on industry trends. As a thought leader, it's not just about sharing what you know, but also about offering your unique perspective on where your industry is headed. Audiences look to thought leaders for their ability to see the bigger picture and anticipate changes or opportunities in their field. What's your unique perspective? Take a few minutes to think about your industry. What trends or challenges do you see emerging that others might not have noticed yet? How does your experience give you a unique vantage point on these trends? Write down your thoughts and consider how you can share these insights with your audience through content, speaking engagements, or interviews. Step 3. Engage with your audience. Positioning yourself as a thought leader isn't just about producing content, it's about engaging with your audience in a meaningful way. Whether through social media, email newsletters, or live events, interacting with your audience allows you to build trust, answer questions, and establish a deeper connection. Social media engagement plan. To build engagement with your audience, create a plan for how you will consistently interact on social media or other platforms. Respond to comments or questions on your posts or content. Participate in industry discussions by sharing your insights on trending topics. Host live Q&A sessions where your audience can ask for your advice directly. By showing up consistently and engaging with your audience, you demonstrate that you're not just a passive content creator, you're an active leader who cares about their success. Step 4. Seek out public speaking opportunities. Public speaking is one of the fastest ways to position yourself as a thought leader. Whether it's speaking at industry conferences, webinars, or local business events, sharing your knowledge in a live setting allows you to reach a broader audience and establish authority. Finding your speaking platform. Think about the events or platforms in your industry where your voice could have an impact. Are there local networking events, industry conferences, or online summits where you could share your insights? Make a list of potential speaking opportunities and consider how you can pitch yourself as a speaker. Step 5. Leverage media and PR for visibility. Thought leaders often gain media exposure through interviews, guest articles, or being featured in podcasts and publications. To position yourself as a thought leader, it's essential to build relationships with the media and leverage PR to increase your visibility. Media outreach plan. Identify 3 media outlets or industry publications where you'd like to be featured. These could be blogs, podcasts, or industry magazines that align with your brand. Write down a list of topics or ideas you could pitch to them, focusing on how your unique perspective could offer value to their audience. For example, if you're a fitness entrepreneur, you might pitch a health magazine with an article on how busy entrepreneurs can prioritize fitness without sacrificing time. By contributing valuable insights to relevant media, you establish yourself as a trusted expert in your field. Many entrepreneurs hesitate to position themselves as thought leaders because of imposter syndrome, the feeling that they're not qualified or experienced enough to be considered an expert. Here's the truth. Everyone feels like an imposter at some point. Even the most successful thought leaders had to start somewhere. Remember, you don't need to be the absolute best in your field to be a thought leader. You simply need to offer value and share your unique perspective with others. The more you show up, create content, and engage with your audience, the more confident you'll become in your role as a leader. Take a moment to reflect on any doubts or fears you have about positioning yourself as a thought leader. Write them down, and then challenge those fears with evidence of your experience, knowledge, and the value you've already provided to others. This exercise will help you overcome self-doubt and step into your role as an authority with confidence. Key takeaways. 1. Thought leadership is about sharing your unique insights and serving your audience with valuable knowledge. 2. Create content that demonstrates your expertise and addresses the needs of your audience. 3. Engage with your audience through social media, live events, and personal interactions to build trust and establish a connection. 4. Public speaking is a powerful way to elevate your authority and expand your reach. 5. Develop a media outreach plan to gain visibility and credibility through interviews, articles, or podcast features. 6. Mindset shift. Overcome imposter syndrome by recognizing the value of your unique perspective and experience. Now that you've started positioning yourself as a thought leader, it's time to take your visibility to the next level. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to leverage networking and strategic partnerships to expand your influence and grow your brand. Chapter 6: Networking with Intent. Building strategic relationships. You've heard it before. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But in reality, it's not just who you know, it's how well you cultivate and nurture those relationships. In a world where personal branding is critical, strategic networking can elevate your brand, open new doors, and position you as a leader in your field. The key to successful networking is intentionality. It's not about handing out business cards at every event or collecting thousands of LinkedIn connections. True networking is about forming relationships that align with your values, your goals, and your brand. It's about creating mutually beneficial partnerships that help both you and your connections grow. Step 1: Shifting your mindset on networking. Before diving into the strategies, it's important to address the common misconceptions about networking. Many people approach networking as a transactional process. What can I get from this person? This mindset often leads to shallow, one-sided connections that don't offer long-term value. Instead, think of networking as relationship building. The best connections are built on trust, mutual respect, and shared goals. When you approach networking with the intent to help others succeed, you'll naturally build relationships that are beneficial for everyone involved. What's your current approach to networking? Take a moment to think about how you've approached networking in the past. Have you seen it as a transactional activity, or have you focused on building meaningful relationships? How has your approach impacted your personal brand? Write down your thoughts and reflect on how you can shift to a more relationship-focused mindset. Step 2: Identifying your strategic network. Not all connections are equal when it comes to building your personal brand. Strategic networking is about connecting with people who can help you grow, while also allowing you to offer value in return. These relationships are often with mentors or advisors, people who have been where you want to go and can offer guidance and wisdom. Peers. Entrepreneurs or professionals in your industry who can offer support, collaboration, and shared experiences. Potential clients or partners. People who may benefit from your expertise or who you can partner with to create mutually beneficial outcomes. Networking audit. Create a list of your current network. Categorize each person or contact into 3 groups. 1. Mentors or advisors, who can offer you valuable advice or mentorship. 2. Peers, who are your professional allies, collaborators, or industry colleagues. 3. Clients or partners, who can benefit from your expertise, and how can you serve them? Once you've finished your list, take a moment to spot any gaps in your network. Where are you missing mentorship, potential partnerships, or peer support? Recognizing these gaps will give you a clear direction for your next steps as you intentionally expand your network. Step 3: Building genuine relationships. Once you've identified your strategic network, it's time to build genuine relationships. Remember, effective networking is about giving before receiving. The most successful networkers are those who focus on how they can offer value to others, not just what they can get. Offer first, ask later. For each person on your networking audit, ask yourself, what can I offer this person? How can I support their goals or help them succeed? This might involve introducing them to someone in your network, sharing a resource that would be valuable to them, or offering your expertise in a way that aligns with their needs. By focusing on offering value first, you'll build stronger, more genuine relationships. Step 4. Networking with purpose, online and offline. In today's digital age, networking happens in both online and offline spaces. As an entrepreneur building a personal brand, you need to be intentional about how you network in both arenas. Online networking. Online platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, and industry-specific forums offer incredible opportunities to connect with like-minded professionals. But the key to success is engagement. Simply sending connection requests isn't enough. You need to actively participate in conversations, share valuable insights, and be visible in your field. Create a plan to engage on LinkedIn or other relevant platforms. Aim to post regularly, share articles, insights, or your own thoughts on industry trends. Engage with others. Comment on posts, share insights, or start meaningful discussions with your connections. Offer help. Reach out to your connections when you see opportunities to assist them, whether by making introductions, sharing resources, or offering advice. Offline networking still holds immense value, especially when it comes to building deeper, face-to-face relationships. Whether it's attending industry conferences, local meetups, or business events, the key is to be purposeful in how you approach these opportunities. Think about your upcoming networking opportunities, whether online or offline. What are your goals for these interactions? How can you focus on building relationships that are aligned with your personal brand and goals? Write down specific actions you can take to connect meaningfully with others in these spaces. Step 5. Nurturing and maintaining relationships. Building a network is just the beginning. The true value of networking comes from nurturing these relationships over time. Stay in touch with your contacts, offer value regularly, and look for ways to collaborate or support each other. Relationship maintenance plan. Create a simple plan for maintaining your relationships. This could include follow-up emails after meetings or events, thanking people for their time and suggesting future opportunities to connect, checking in regularly with mentors, advisors, or partners to offer assistance or update them on your progress, offering support without an agenda, simply reaching out to provide value when you see an opportunity. Building a strong network isn't about the quantity of your contacts, it's about the quality of your relationships. By nurturing these relationships over time, you'll create a powerful support system that helps you grow both personally and professionally. Let's address a common challenge: networking anxiety. Many people, especially introverts, feel nervous about networking events or reaching out to new people. The fear of rejection, awkwardness, or imposter syndrome can make networking feel intimidating. Here's the good news: networking doesn't have to be overwhelming. By focusing on building genuine, authentic relationships, you can approach networking with confidence. You don't need to impress everyone you meet, you just need to find a few key people who align with your values and goals. What fears or anxieties do you have about networking? Write them down. Then, consider how you can reframe these fears. Instead of thinking about networking as a performance, think of it as an opportunity to form meaningful connections. Focus on how you can help others, rather than what they think of you. Key takeaways. 1. Networking is about building relationships, not transactions. Focus on forming genuine connections that align with your personal brand and goals. 2. Conduct a networking audit to identify gaps in your current network and opportunities for growth. 3. Offer value first to build strong, meaningful relationships that are mutually beneficial. 4. Engage online and offline with purpose, using platforms like LinkedIn and attending industry events with clear goals in mind. 5. Create a relationship maintenance plan to nurture your connections over time and stay top of mind with your network. 6. Mindset shift. Overcome networking anxiety by focusing on building authentic connections and offering value, rather than trying to impress. Now that you've built a strategic network, it's time to leverage your relationships and visibility. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to leverage media and PR to grow your personal brand and expand your reach even further. Chapter 7. Leveraging media and PR to grow your brand. You've built your personal brand, shared your story, and positioned yourself as a thought leader. Now it's time to amplify your brand's visibility by leveraging media and PR. Whether it's being featured on a podcast, writing for a well-known publication, or appearing in a television interview, media exposure can take your personal brand to the next level. Media and PR are not just about getting your name out there, they're about building credibility, expanding your audience, and establishing yourself as an expert in your industry. In this chapter, we'll cover the steps you need to take to get media coverage and create PR opportunities that align with your personal brand. Step 1. Identifying the right media outlets. The first step in leveraging media is identifying the outlets that align with your personal brand and target audience. Not every media platform is the right fit for you, so it's essential to focus on those that will give you access to your ideal audience. Make a list of media outlets where you'd like to be featured. These could include podcasts. Find podcasts that target your audience and focus on topics relevant to your industry. Blogs or online publications. Identify blogs and websites that publish thought leadership articles in your niche. Industry magazines. Look for trade or industry-specific publications that feature expert insights. Local or national media. Consider local radio or TV stations if your brand has a regional focus, or aim for national media outlets if your reach is broader. Once you've identified these outlets, research their submission guidelines or contact information for pitching. Knowing where you want to be featured will help you craft pitches that are targeted and relevant. Step 2. Crafting a winning pitch. Getting media coverage requires a compelling pitch. Your pitch needs to grab the attention of journalists, podcast hosts, or editors, and convince them that your story or expertise is valuable to their audience. Key elements of a media pitch. 1. Compelling subject line. Your subject line needs to be concise and attention-grabbing. Think of it as your first impression. Example: how your name is helping entrepreneurs overcome challenge in the industry space. 2. Personalized introduction. Address the person by name and mention why their audience would benefit from your story or expertise. Show that you've done your research on their platform. Example: I've been following your podcast for a while and noticed your recent episode on building an authentic brand. I'd love to contribute by discussing how entrepreneurs can use personal branding to position themselves as industry leaders. 3. Your unique value proposition. Briefly explain who you are, what you do, and why your story or expertise is relevant. Example: I'm a personal branding consultant who specializes in helping entrepreneurs stand out in crowded industries. My recent work focuses on helping small business owners build their personal brands through storytelling and thought leadership. 4. Call to action. End with a clear ask, such as an invitation to discuss further or offering to provide additional materials like articles, topic ideas, or sample interview questions. Example: I'd love to discuss how we can collaborate on an upcoming episode. Please let me know if you're interested, and I'd be happy to provide more details or ideas for the discussion. Using the outline above, draft a pitch to one of the media outlets you identified in the previous exercise. Be clear about your expertise and the value you can offer their audience. Keep it concise, but make sure it's personalized and compelling. Step 3. Leveraging different types of media exposure. There are various ways to leverage media, each with its own benefits for growing your personal brand. Let's explore a few of the most effective forms of media exposure and how to use them. Podcasts are an excellent way to showcase your expertise while reaching a highly engaged audience. Being featured on a podcast allows you to dive deeper into your story, share your insights, and connect with listeners who are interested in your niche. How to pitch. Reach out to podcast hosts with a personalized pitch, suggesting specific topics that would resonate with their audience. Be prepared to offer value through actionable insights or unique stories. Writing guest posts or contributing articles to online publications or industry blogs is another powerful way to establish credibility. These platforms allow you to demonstrate your expertise in written form and reach a broader audience. How to pitch. Research the submission guidelines for the publication and pitch an article idea that ties into current industry trends or offers a fresh perspective on a relevant issue. Appearing on TV or radio can help you reach a large audience and build instant credibility. While these opportunities can be harder to secure, they can have a significant impact on your brand visibility. How to pitch. Focus on how your expertise or story fits into current events or trends. TV and radio segments often look for experts who can comment on timely issues or provide a unique viewpoint on a trending topic. What media channels align with your brand? Think about which media channels align most with your brand's goals and your comfort level. Do you feel more comfortable speaking on podcasts, or would you prefer writing for online publications? Write down the media types that resonate with you and start focusing your efforts on those channels. Step 4. Creating a PR strategy. To get consistent media coverage, you need to have a strategic approach to PR. This means thinking beyond one-off pitches and focusing on building long-term relationships with media outlets and journalists. Here's how to create a sustainable PR strategy. 1. Identify your key message. What is the core message you want to convey in your media appearances? Your message should align with your personal brand and provide value to your audience. Example: I help entrepreneurs use personal branding to stand out as industry leaders. 2. Develop a timeline for when you'll pitch to different media outlets. For example, if your brand has a seasonal angle or a product launch coming up, plan your pitches around those key dates. 3. Track your pitches. Keep a record of the outlets you've pitched, along with any follow-ups. Tracking your media outreach will help you stay organized and ensure you're making consistent progress. Step 5. Overcoming the fear of media exposure. While media exposure can be exciting, it also comes with some common fears. Many entrepreneurs hesitate to pitch themselves to the media because they feel they're not ready, or they fear being judged or criticized. But remember, media exposure is a powerful tool for growing your brand, and stepping into the spotlight is an important part of that growth. What's holding you back? What fears or hesitations do you have about media exposure? Write them down. Then, reflect on how you can overcome these fears by focusing on the value you're providing to your audience. Media appearances aren't about perfection, they're about sharing your expertise and helping others. Key takeaways. 1. Leverage media and PR to grow your personal brand by increasing visibility, credibility, and reach. 2. Identify media outlets that align with your brand and target audience. Focus on podcasts, blogs, industry publications, and local or national media. 3. Craft a compelling media pitch that highlights your expertise and the value you can offer to the outlet's audience. 4. Build a sustainable PR plan that includes a media calendar, key message, and consistent pitching efforts. 5. Mindset shift. Overcome fears of media exposure by focusing on how your expertise can provide value to a wider audience. Now that you've developed your PR strategy and started leveraging media exposure, it's time to focus on sustaining and evolving your personal brand over the long term. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to continue growing and refining your brand as you reach new heights in your career. Chapter 8. Sustaining and evolving your personal brand. By now, you've built a personal brand that reflects who you are, what you stand for, and the value you bring to your audience. But personal branding isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process. To stay relevant and impactful, your brand must evolve as you grow in your career, adapt to changes in your industry, and respond to the shifting needs of your audience. In this chapter, we'll explore how to maintain the momentum you've built and continuously evolve your personal brand to ensure long-term success. We'll discuss practical strategies for staying visible, staying relevant, and growing your brand, as well as the mindset shifts required to embrace ongoing change. Step 1. Regularly reassess your personal brand. Just as businesses periodically review and update their strategies, you should regularly reassess your personal brand to ensure that it aligns with your current goals, values, and audience. As you grow and evolve, your brand may need to shift to reflect new directions in your career, new areas of expertise, or changes in your industry. Set aside time every 6 months to conduct a personal brand assessment. Ask yourself, does my current brand still reflect my values, expertise, and goals? Has my target audience shifted, and if so, is my brand addressing their needs? Am I still passionate about the message and identity my brand represents? If your answers indicate that aspects of your brand are no longer aligned with who you are or what you're doing, it's time to adjust. Evolving your brand doesn't mean starting over, it means refining and enhancing what's already working while letting go of what no longer serves you. Step 2. As your brand evolves, it's essential to stay visible and keep building your influence. Thought leadership, content creation, and networking should remain ongoing practices that help you stay top of mind for your audience. Actionable steps for sustaining visibility. 1. Content creation. Continue producing content that reflects your evolving expertise. As you grow, your content should grow with you, offering deeper insights, new perspectives, and fresh ideas. Create a content calendar that aligns with your updated brand goals. What new topics can you address that reflect your growth and position you as a thought leader in your industry? 2. Public speaking and media engagement. Continue seeking speaking engagements, media interviews, and guest articles that allow you to show